Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. So today we are doing something a bit different, a bit out there, and totally inspired by the fact that we're going to be getting an adventure pack soon. Hopefully it comes pretty soon because I really want it. So we are making a Mayan temple, which is an extremely practical thing in The Sims, to just go and create something that is not a house really. But we started off with the landscaping, so like kind of cutting out the ground, using the basement to kind of make the land a bit more interesting, and sort of trying to create sort of a more natural, less square looking plot of land. So that's the one thing that annoys me about the plot sizes. They're kind of not that organic, so when you're trying to make something that's clearly supposed to be built into the landscape, it can be quite challenging at times. But trying to make it blend in. Obviously the grass below looks completely different colour to the one on the top, because I built it in Bridlington Bay, so the grass is a bit of a different colour. So I started off with a load of cubes and shrunk them all down, so you got the classic step sort of look that a lot of Mayan and sort of Incan temples have, and sort of wanted to create that really old looking feel. I got a lot of inspiration from Devon Bumpkin's Lost World build, which I'll probably remember to link below if you want to check that out. He made a jungle build which was super impressive and super inspiring towards this build as well. So I used a lot of stuff from the Get Together stuff, because that came with a load of different ruins and sort of different objects that you can use to create the disheveled look. It worked well as like an Uncharted, if you've ever played Uncharted sort of game, and sort of adding in some broken sort of pathways to show that there sort of were more bits to the temple than it's actually left behind now. And now we're going to work on the detailing around the outside. So after watching Devon's wonderful video, he used the diving boards that you get in the Get Together stuff to create that broken stone sort of thing. So I was scaling up and down all the most grotty looking sort of stones that I could find, and sort of tried to create a really broken, sort of worn down outside to my lovely plain boxes. And it was super fun and interesting to actually make this build, because I've not really done anything on this sort of scale or sort of differentness, if that makes complete sense. I sort of had a bit more of a purpose to what I was building in this build than when I'm normally creating a generic sort of house lot. And it's much more interesting to build something that's not a house as well, which has also inspired me to do some other builds from around the world, so you can be looking forward to those. And halfway around I realized that you could scale them up pretty big, so it kind of got those huge ones that sort of clip into the wall, which I didn't actually mind in this build, clipping stuff into the walls, because obviously the having the broken stuff on the inside and the outside would be pretty cool as well. And I use some of the pool sort of height, like the smoke stuff, to make some sort of crack pavings and sort of add in a bit more color and texture, because at the moment it's a big sort of beige box with a load of rocks around. So I do go in and add a load of greenery, and sort of we'll see in a bit all the sort of hanging wall plants you can use to create really cool and interesting details. And yeah, I use the seats as well, because obviously they are a perfect shape to sort of put some cracked sort of wall details around the build, and make it a bit more interesting. I don't know what more I can say about this build, but last week I said I went to the Luminaire Festival, which was a very, very fun experience. It was really cold, and we started off at the Oxo Tower by the south bank, and then worked all the way up to King's Cross, and we walked all the way and found some interesting pathways and cutways as we went. It was really strange as well because they shut off the whole of Regent Street and you could walk down the middle of the road, which is a rare experience. Me and my friend kept creeping out that you'd imagine a bus just ploughing into the back of you, because normally that road is like the most chock-a-block road you can think of. And it had some really fun exhibits that you could go see and interact with. So if you are in London next year for it, I think it was only until Monday, so it's quite a short event, but if you're around for next year, then I would recommend you go check that stuff out. And now we're going to add all in the greenery, so I'm using the wall plants to sort of give a plethora of wall I don't know what I'm trying to say. A plethora of greenery. And then I scaled up the wall plant hangings, the one that has the one that's overgrown basically, and sort of scaled that up and put it into the gaps in the diving boards, and it created this really cool effect, like the plants were like growing out and over. And I used a lot of the stair ruins and the column ruins for the bottom part of the build. And I was trying to work out what trees I kind of wanted, because we don't have that many jungle trees at the moment, so I was trying to play around with the different heights and sort of scales and textures of the trees to kind of create like quite a thick canopy around it. But also I didn't want to obscure the build either, because obviously if you can't see it very well, there's not really much point in actually building it or making it. I don't know. And then I used a lot of the overgrown grass and sort of the more weedy looking plants to kind of put in between the broken paving slabs and on top of the building, and kind of just making it look extremely overgrown, like the nature was reclaiming back after the thousands and thousands of years that this structure had been sitting abandoned in the jungle. And then I scaled up that really long bush, which created some nice different color green, because it was quite important for myself to kind of have different textures and colors in this build, because it was all one texture as a base, but one colour on the base, so it's important to get a lot of textures. And adding in a load of stones as well, which I kind of just do by randomly clicking and spinning the mouse around so they randomly rotate, which is quite a good way if you want to do some more random, less formulaic sort of placements in your game. Just randomly spam wherever you want it. And then I added in some of the archways that have the brick on the bottom, but they're open, so it kind of looked like there were doorways into the structure. But over time, obviously, the building has either collapsed around it, so some of them are blocked or overgrown. So it's kind of a place where you could send your sim in to explore, and sort of might be able to get out the top, or they might be able to get out the side and discover something else around it, which also leads in very nicely to what I tried to do on the inside, which was to create how it was like in the Sims 3 in the World Adventures pack. So I kind of do a mini sort of maze inside and hide some valuable items around. So I kind of used the big pots and scaled them up and down. Sort of someone came here and hid their treasure and sort of scattered it throughout the building, and just picking out some like treasure chests and some of the objects, and sort of put that map there as suggesting that they had that was the treasure map or the plan of the temple itself. So just going around adding in the different things, and we use the half walls and the normal walls for the bottom layer to kind of hide things behind. And this is probably my favorite bit, where I get all the gold bars out and just litter them all around the room, as this was probably the main treasure part. So if you wanted to download this, which you can off the Sims Gallery, it's already up and raring to go to be put into your game, so you can come get your sim to try and find the gold, and then you can bring it back home or sell it if you wanted to, and then your sim could buy some nice things with it, with their little treasure. I wonder if they're going to include that in the new pack. I'm very intrigued about what it's going to be, or whether we're going to get, I think it might be a bit like the vampires one. Hopefully we get a new world that we can go exploring in, and hopefully it looks like we get some cool sort of ethnic-y patterned sort of clothes, so that'd be quite nice. Bring in a bit more difference and diversity into the game. And then all the inside has the natural light as well, because you can go up all the way to the top, because I wanted to put in a rickety staircase, but the only one I could find was the one that has like the open slats. That'd be quite cool if they added in some sort of rickety, like older looking stuff in the expansion pack that we're hopefully going to get soon. And then I put the snail on top of the thing as their sort of deity or thing that they worshipped. So sort of this temple was dedicated to the snail god for some unknown reason. There's not any other decent statues, so I thought, no, we might as well worship the snail. Because I don't know whether anyone else in the world has like snail cream, but they like farm snails and make it into face cream, and they like sell it over here for like, I think it's like 25 quid for some bizarre reason. It's so expensive, but it's supposed to rejuvenate and youthen your skin. So if you want to try some snail regeneration cream, then come head to Britain in a well-known pharmacy sort of health food store that we have over here. It was quite funny when I first heard about it. It kind of like, do you want to try some snail cream? And it was like using the slime from the snail, so I thought it was literally going to be a pot of snail slime, which I was like, why would you even put that on your face? But they do turn it into a proper cream, so get that snail cream. So we're making some little ponds outside, because I thought it was looking a bit bland, and I thought, because it was a lower level in the basement bit, sort of the rain would have collected and created natural pools at the bottom. So I kind of thought that we should add that, and they'd be a bit brown and overgrown and covered in moss. So here we are at the screenshots. I think that's my favorite screenshot, with the moon behind it and all glowing yellow. And then we get some views that are not too great of showing you the layout of the inside, and working our way down through the temple all the way to the bottom. And then we get some interesting angles and stuff from around the sides. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a like, and if you'd like to see any more builds, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.